Welcome to Taste China Learn English. I want you to just close your eyes for a second.
Okay, closing them.
Imagine you are holding a treasure chest in your hands. It is solid. It is, packed completely full of valuables.
Right, it has real heavy weight to it.
Exactly. You have to really work to get inside and see what is actually in there. Now, put that heavy chest down.
I like this. Okay, it's down.
I want you to imagine holding a dancing cloud.
Oh, wow. A dancing cloud.
Yeah, something light, something that just drifts, something that feels almost completely weightless as it moves through the air.
The heavy grounded object versus the airy floating element.
Believe it or not, that is the exact difference between a traditional Chinese dumpling and a Chinese wonton.
The dumpling is the treasure
And the
chest.
wonton is the dancing cloud. So today, for our deep dive, we're going to unpack why a wonton is absolutely not just a dumpling floating in a bowl of soup.
It really isn't. It's an entirely different thing.
Right. We are exploring the hidden engineering behind that really delicate dough. We will look at how the dish radically changes its identity across different regions in China.
And since this is Taste China, Learn English, we will explore the very specific English words required to describe this unique sensory experience.
Yes, simple words, but very important words. So let us start with the engineering.
The architecture of the food.
Yeah, because if you just look at a wonton in a bowl, you might easily assume, oh, it is just a standard dumpling that fell in some hot water.
Right, but the moment you look at the raw materials, the entire architecture is just completely different.
It starts with the wrapper, doesn't it? The dough itself.
Exactly. Think about a traditional dumpling wrapper. It is round and it is rolled out to be relatively thick.
It needs that thick wall. Its job is to act like a sturdy canvas bag.
Yes, a strong bag.
It has to hold a large, heavy ball of meat and vegetables. And it has to survive being boiled vigorously in water or, pan fried in hot oil without bursting open.
That is the treasure chest. Thick walls, heavy filling, totally built for durability.
But a wonton wrapper is engineered for an entirely different purpose.
Right. First of all, the shape is different. It is square, not round.
Okay, square.
And more importantly, it is rolled out to be incredibly thin, like almost impossibly thin.
The best way to picture this is to compare it to really fine silk or maybe even delicate stained glass.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it.
A wonton wrapper is this very fragile, delicate handkerchief. Because that skin is so thin, it must completely change how the food reacts to heat in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. It cooks in a fraction of the time. But the most important part of the cooking process is the visual transformation.
What do you mean by visual? Like how it looks?
Yes, exactly. When that ultra thin square of dough hits the boiling water, it does not just heat up, it transforms.
Oh, wow.
The dough actually becomes transparent. It turns into a clear veil.
Transparent. That is a great word for our listeners. Transparent means you can see through it.
Right. Transparent. You can literally see the colors and the textures of the meat or the shrimp hiding inside before you even pick up your spoon.
Okay, but hang on. If this wrapper is so fragile, if it is basically a transparent, delicate silk veil, why do we serve it in a giant bowl of hot soup?
That is the magic of the dish.
Because putting something that delicate into a heavy liquid seems like a really bad idea. Dumplings are usually eaten dry on a plate, maybe, dipped in some soy sauce.
Right. Eaten dry.
So why dunk this fragile silk in soup?
Well, think about the physics of wet dough.
Okay.
If you take a freshly boiled, ultra-thin wonton and drop it onto a dry, flat plate, gravity takes over.
Oh, the weight of it.
Exactly. The sheer weight of the moisture presses it flat. The delicate, transparent skin sticks to the ceramic plate.
And it sticks to the other wonton sitting next to it, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
the moment you try to pick it up with your chopsticks, that fine silk tears open and the filling just falls out.
So the broth is acting as a physical cushion.
Yes. The liquid provides buoyancy. It physically suspends the wonton in the bowl.
It holds it up.
Exactly. The soup acts as structural support for the delicate flaps of the square wrapper. It allows them to fan out and drift freely in the liquid.
And that is your dancing cloud?
There it is. The broth keeps the structure intact and allows the dough to move gracefully. Without the liquid, the whole architecture collapses.
That paints a totally different picture of wonton soup for me. The soup is not just a flavor choice, it is actually a structural requirement.
It really is.
And making these things sounds like a masterclass in efficiency, too. I have watched a cook sitting at a kitchen table, and they can fold 100 of these in just a few minutes.
Oh, it is incredibly fast.
You take a tiny pinch of filling, you place it in the middle of the square, add a tiny drop of water on the edge to act as glue, and give the dough one quick pinch.
Just one quick pinch. And the secret to that speed, and really the secret to the entire dish, comes down to a very specific philosophy.
And what is that?
Proportion.
Proportion. Another great word for our English learners. Proportion means the relationship between the sizes of different parts.
Exactly. Here, it means the careful balance between the dough and the filling.
Because when most people make a dumpling at home, the temptation is to stuff it.
Oh, absolutely.
You want as much meat in there as possible. The
Yes.
dough is just the delivery truck for the filling. Are you saying the wonton philosophy is the opposite?
It's the exact opposite.
Is the meat just an excuse to eat the dough?
Honestly, yes. That is the fundamental shift in mindset. The wrapper is the star of the show.
That makes sense.
The ultimate goal is achieving the precise balance, the proportion between that transparent skin and a surprisingly small amount of filling.
Because if you overstuck a wonton, you ruin the proportion.
Right. You lose the dancing cloud effect because the extra weight just drags it down.
You want long, flowing tails of empty dough trailing behind a tiny, highly flavorful center.
It is an exercise in culinary restraint.
We are maximizing the texture of the dough, not the volume of the meat.
Exactly right.
So now that we understand this basic, delicate anatomy, the transparent skin, the structural soup, the careful proportion, we can explore how this foundation transforms when we travel to different regions of China.
Because the architectural foundation of the thin wrapper remains the same, but the identity of the dish changes completely.
Depending on the local culture and climate, right?
Absolutely.
Let us start in the south, down in Guangdong province. Here they are called wonton, or wonton.
And that is where the classic English spelling actually comes from.
Right. The signature style in the south sounds incredibly elegant. The filling is famously made with shrimp.
Yes, the coastal geography dictates a lighter, seafood-driven approach.
And that shrimp provides a very distinct, crisp, snapping texture when you bite into it.
It really does. That firm snap contrasts beautifully with the soft, flowing dough of the wrapper.
In Guangdong, they frequently pair these delicate shrimp wontons with very thin, chewy noodles to create the globally famous dish, wonton noodles.
Oh, it sounds so comforting.
It is. Light, delicate, swimming in a clear, savory broth that really highlights the subtle flavors.
But then you travel west to
Yeah.
the Sichuan province.
Okay, moving west.
And suddenly, the entire identity of this dish flips completely upside down. It is not even called a wonton anymore.
Wait, really? What is it called?
It is called keoshu.
Keosho. And the literal translation of keisho is folded hands.
Yes.
Let us pause there for our learners. Literal, meaning the exact, direct meaning of the words, with no poetry or metaphors attached.
That's right, literal. And the name comes entirely from the way the dough is manipulated.
How so?
Well, in Sichuan, they do not just pinch the dough together into a little purse. They take the square wrapper, fold it into a triangle, and then pull the two opposite corners together.
Crossing them over one another.
Exactly. It looks exactly like someone crossing their arms tightly against their chest to keep warm in the freezing winter.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
The very name of the dish is a visual reference to bracing against the cold.
Folded hands.
But hang on. You are painting this picture of a delicate, ethereal dancing cloud, a light snack with a transparent silk wrapper.
Right.
But now we are talking about bracing against a bitter, freezing Sichuan winter.
It is a big shift.
We are talking about serving these delicate wrappers in an aggressive bath of chili oil, raw garlic, and sharp vinegar. How does this fragile little piece of silk survive that kind of culinary violence?
That is a great question.
Doesn't the heavy oil destroy the delicate proportion we just talked about?
It sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? But the thin wrapper actually acts as the ultimate culinary canvas.
A canvas. Okay.
Because the dough is so thin and has a very neutral flavor, it behaves almost like a sponge.
Oh, I see.
In Sichuan, the climate is known for its damp, penetrating cold. The people need food that generates internal heat to fight that dampness.
So they take that exact same delicate canvas and they use it to capture thick, heavy, intense flavors.
Exactly. The ultra-thin dough soaks up the chili oil and the acidic vinegar.
It doesn't fight the local flavor. It just completely surrenders to it.
It absorbs the environment. The dish transforms from a light snack in the South into a necessary warming comfort food in the West.
Those folded hands are a physical promise that the bowl of Kaoshu is going to heat your body from the inside out.
That is exactly right.
So these regional differences, whether you are eating the clear broth in Guangdong or the heavy chili oil in Sichuan, ultimately create a very unique sensory eating experience.
A very specific feeling in your mouth.
Yes, and you actually need a specific set of English vocabulary to truly capture and understand what is happening when you eat this food.
Let us look at the texture. The defining English word for eating a wonton is silky.
Silky, like a fine silk fabric.
Yes. The wonton is so incredibly soft and smooth that it barely requires any chewing at all. It simply slides down.
That sliding sensation is entirely by design, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Going back to the concept of proportion, if there were too much meat, you'd have to stop and chew aggressively.
Right.
You'd break the rhythm.
Because the proportion leans so heavily toward the transparent, well-boiled dough, the eating experience is almost frictionless.
Frictionless, yes. It is about the physical sensation of the food gliding over your palate just as much as it is about the actual taste.
To support that silky texture, the cooks focus heavily on the broth.
Right, the soup.
We use the word savory to describe a soup that is deeply flavorful but not sweet.
Savory, another excellent word.
Yes, and to get that deep, savory quality, they often enhance the hot water with ingredients like dried shrimp or dried seaweed.
Those ingredients provide a natural oceanic depth. They build layers of subtle flavor that round out the soup.
But without overpowering the delicate dough or making the liquid feel thick and heavy.
Which dictates perfectly when people actually eat this dish.
Right, because it is so light, because it simply slides down without heavy chewing, wontons are incredibly popular in specific dining contexts.
They are a massive staple of dim sum.
Ah, dim sum. Those small, varied plates shared over tea with family.
Exactly. And they are also famous as a comforting late-night snack.
That makes total sense. Think about the logic of eating at midnight.
Yes, let's think about it.
If you are hungry late at night, you do not want a massive, heavy meal that is going to sit like a rock in your stomach while you try to sleep.
You definitely do not want a treasure chest.
Exactly. You want the dancing cloud.
You want something warm, savory, and silky that satisfies the physical hunger without weighing your body down.
The physical architecture of the wonton makes it the absolute perfect late-night comfort food.
It really does.
You know, we have used some specific English words today to understand this food. Let's review them quickly for our learners.
Great idea.
We use transparent to describe the clear skin. We use proportion to describe the careful ratio of dough to filling.
We used silky to describe the frictionless texture.
We used fold to describe the physical manipulation of the shape. And we used literal to understand the folded hands.
Transparent, proportion, silky, fold, literal.
If you just handed me that list of words out of context, I would assume we were talking about fashion design.
Oh, that is a really interesting point.
Right. It sounds like the vocabulary of a textile artist working with high-end fabrics, not a chef making dinner.
Well, in this culinary tradition, texture holds the exact same level of importance as taste.
Wow.
In a lot of Western food, the conversation is heavily focused on flavor. Is it salty? Is it sweet? Is it spicy?
But in Chinese gastronomy, the mouthfeel is paramount.
Yes. How the food physically interacts with your tongue, how it slides down your throat. The fact that the vocabulary of a wonton overlaps perfectly with the vocabulary of making clothes proves that making this dish is really an art of crafting texture.
You are essentially weaving a savory, edible silk. You are designing a garment for the palate.
That is a beautiful summary.
Let us take a moment to step back and look at the whole picture we have painted today.
We started by breaking down a very common misconception.
Right, that a wonton is not just a dumpling dropped in hot water.
We looked at the fundamental structural differences. We moved from the thick, round, heavy treasure chest of a dumpling wrapper
To the ultra-thin, square, delicate architecture of the wonton.
We learned why that delicate, transparent, silky skin absolutely requires the buoyant support of a savory broth to keep from tearing under its own weight.
We saw how the secret to the whole endeavor is not abundance, but proportion.
That careful restraint, balancing a tiny pinch of filling against long, flowing tails of empty dough,
From there, we traveled. We went down south to Guangdong.
where that delicate skin is filled with crisp shrimp and paired with thin noodles to create a light, elegant meal in a clear broth.
Then we journeyed to the cold, damp winters of Sichuan.
And we saw the exact same architectural foundation folded up like crossed arms to become chaoshu, the folded hands.
A dish that abandons the clear soup for a fiery, aggressive bath of chili oil, garlic, and vinegar.
The thin dough acts as a sponge, soaking up those intense flavors to warm you from the inside out.
We explored the English language required to truly appreciate the experience. Words like silky, transparent, and proportion.
Words that remind us that eating a wonton is as much about the physical, tactile sensation of savory silk sliding down your throat as it is about the flavor of the soup.
It is a dish that demands you pay attention to how it physically feels, not just how it tastes.
Truly.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to turn this over to you listening right now.
Think about everything we just unpacked.
The clear, subtle elegance of the South versus the fiery, aggressive comfort of the West. If you were sitting down at a table right now, hungry, which style do you think you would prefer?
Are you reaching for that delicate, savory, clear soup with the snapping shrimp?
Or are you craving the spicy, sour kick of the folded hands soaking in chili oil?
It really depends on what kind of comfort you are looking for in that exact moment.
It does. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Something that goes beyond just wontons.
Okay, what is it?
Well, today we discovered that the Sichuan dish kayasho translates literally to folded hands, simply because the way the dough is manipulated mimics the shape of a person crossing their arms against the winter cold.
A deeply poetic, hidden meaning sitting right there in the bowl.
Exactly. So the next time you sit down to eat, no matter what culture the food comes from, I want you to ask yourself something.
What is that?
What other everyday foods on your plate might be hiding literal poetic translations?
Oh, that is a great question.
What secret histories or visual metaphors are baked into the names of the things we eat every single day, just waiting to completely change how you experience them?